Live? I mean live.
We were not live, actually, Michelle. All right, this is Michelle Rouch. She is the wonderful space artist. If you see her work, she is wonderful at what she does. She brought one of her samples here today for us to take a look at. This is one of her latest art pieces of artwork. This is the kind of artwork she does. She really gets into the moment. She prototypes. She does everything she has to do in order to make a one heck of a product, as far as for space and for
Fusing a moment in time.
using a moment in time. Exactly. Now we're going to interview her for a few minutes, and we are going to ask her some questions and see what she thinks about them.
Well, thank you, Dan.
All right, Michelle.
Ask away.
All right, Michelle. How did you get into being a space enthusiast, aviation enthusiast?
Well, let's first work with aviation, because that was the onset of going into, the space art. Now, I have to go back in time when you could say that I felt that I was a born artist. I drew all my life. They say, well, how long did you draw? And I'm like, I have artwork as of early as age 2. And I was very thankful that my mother kept some of my really good art. So as time goes faster through, and then I met my husband and we married, and he became a modeler, and I'm doing my art on the side. And I started losing inspiration. Sometimes you had these writer's block or artist block, and they're very dark because you can't get out of them. So I felt like an artist block was coming on. And I was drawing a lot of my son. So he has, there was one time he was 5 or 4 years old, walking at Pima Air and Space Museum. And how that artwork came about was, it was 2002. No, it wasn't 2002. It was earlier, because we had the photo. And I was going into an artist block. And what happened was, my husband said, why don't you paint airplanes? I'm a modeler. I have all these models. I have all this material. You can use it to create your artwork. And I was painting buildings, and I was making a lot of portraits. And funny enough, I caved. And this was back in 2002. I caved, and I drew this painting of our son, because I was drawing always our son. And I was seeing how the perspective of all the airplanes were lined up, and then seeing the curvature of the skin of the airplane. I could see mathematically how my portraits and the perspective of buildings made an airplane.
Nice.
So my very first airplane is the Albatross that is here. And it got onto stationery, and way back when it was being sold at the gift shop here, and a lot of people, they enjoyed it. I don't have any more because I'm doing a lot more other things. It's hard to manage inventory. So so that's the start. And now I tell my husband, those 10 years of nagging of him buying a lot of models and a lot of material, I say, now that I'm doing this art, it's his fault. And it's 10 years of investment, and he doesn't have enough.
Well, we do have another Albatross here. I don't know if you know that. I actually got to see it up close. I got a nice walk-around video of it. And I've got pictures of it inside. It's pristine. So that's going out on the grounds. They're just fixing it up, I guess. But like I said, it's a hobby that you can't shake.
You can't shake it.
Nope. Once you get the fever of it, you can't shake it.
So basically, my husband just enjoys making the airplane and the models and researching. Me, I need the stories. I need the story of the pilots. I need to understand what they went through. And so we're in front of the Electra, because I just had a live art show of my 5 pieces of artwork of Amelia Earhart. And Amelia Earhart, as of yesterday, May 20, we all celebrated the 90th anniversary of the first woman solo transatlantic flight. And she went from Newfoundland to Paris, France, and she wasn't on the Electra, it was the Vega. And the Vega, the one that I used, can you imagine? I drove, that's how the fever is. I drove from Tucson, Arizona to San Diego, take pictures, walk around everything of the Vega, and drove home because I needed to have the exact image of the artwork because I couldn't, and this one here, thank goodness I live here. So I used also this, this very plane, and I had an image of, and of course it's artistic license. You had, I know that I put myself here and I'm thinking she's my height. She's probably not my height. It didn't matter.
You got to have the stance of her too.
Yeah, the stance, and and I had her next to the engine, and of course not on, but it just for me it was beautiful, and I used watercolor and trying to create an image that is not in the photograph.
Mm-hmm.
So now your next question is the space. So now I blame my husband with all his connections of modelers. I belong to American Society of Aviation Artists, that's ASAA. And I immediately became a member in 2002. I knew if you're going to be serious with something, you got to join a society. Just like anything in life, you got to. If I'm very serious with Pima Air and Space Museum, so I'm a member.
Same here.
If I want to do something, I got to be a member because if I'm serious enough with an organization. So now with me meeting the founders of ASAA, and that's Robert McCall and Keith Ferris, and there were these two living ones that I have met, and it was Lois and Robert McCall that said, "You live in Tucson?"
Lois
McCall.
Oh, Lois McCall. Okay.
Yeah. And she said, "You live in Tucson? You have to meet Kim Poor."
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I met Kim Poor back in, I think it was either 2006 time frame, 2007, I can't remember the year, it's a while ago. And as soon as I met him, and I was telling him about ASAA, I did not know about IAAA, which is International Association of Astronomical Artists. As soon as I knew about the organization, bam, I had to become a member. I'm like, we gel. That is similar to what I need to do. So Robert McCall saw my space art, which my very first one was a rendition of the statue of Apollo, and I became inspired because everything comes with an inspiration for myself. I was walking at Delphi, and I saw the Temple of Apollo, and I was there understanding the importance of these huge pillars that are no longer in existence. They are just stumps, but I knew how large they would have been. So here is the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, and the whole importance of Delphi with the oracle. And my husband's Greek, and we're in Delphi, and he confessed. He said, "This is the first time I've been to Delphi." Well, in Greek it's Delphi. So, and I kind of chuckled because he's from Greece. So now I have that inspiration. We're there in 2006 time frame, 7 time frame, and I'm making my first space art, and it is the Apollo statue, and then the surface of the moon with the ceremonial flag that's going to be mounted on the moon, and with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin side by side, and then there is the Earthrise. Of course, this is all artistic license, and there's no Apollo, but then Robert McCall critiqued it. He goes, "Oh, I love how this moves. There's a lot of freedom. It's not so exact and tight," and he just enjoyed the flow of the watercolor. So I too enjoyed that critique.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the start. And then they introduced me to Kim Poor, and then from Kim Poor becoming the IAAA member, and I'm now the co-founder of the Tucson chapter of IAAA, and we have had workshops here. So, and we include anybody who wants to do space art and join in, and it's IAAA.org. that if you're interested.
All right, that was a good. That was a nice rendition. Now, you're talking about what I should. Here's an idea. If you really want an idea, I gotta put my finger in there. I gotta put my finger in there. See, like, is to do a nice rendition of her, of the Electra, and maybe put Amelia Earhart into it.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be a
cool.
dynamite.
Yeah. That
Now-
would be so cool.
I have another burning question. I have.
Okay. Shoot. Come at me.
We have lovely children over there playing. We have children everywhere.
Right. Kid friendly. Dog friendly.
It's definitely dog friendly.
And kids love this museum.
Yes. What advice do you have for young girls and women, as well as young boys, on if they want to follow their dreams in aviation or wherever they want to go?
So many times it takes parents that help or guardians, or it is something that sparks. Kids, you guys have to always remember, keep up with your math skills and keep up with your reading and writing skills. Those are two fundamental areas. And you can always grow from that. And there's a lot of hurdles for and the audience, for the viewers. I'm also an engineer, so my day job pays for my passion's art career. So I'm hoping to retire next year from my 32 years of working for the U.S. government, and that gave me the freedom to be also an artist.
She's not CIA, guys. Don't even think about it.
No. So so what is critical about going into aviation, and we also need everybody. We need writers, we need speakers, we need people who are doing, like Dan, just getting the word out. So how to go into this area of maybe you just want hands-on. There are machinists. We need fabrication to go to the level of the thousands level, and there are a lot of fabricators here in Tucson and surrounding area. So there's a lot of people, they don't want to necessarily go to books and be a degreed student. They want to get more hands-on. There's a lot of hands-on. Pima College offers a lot of those classes. And so with kids who are interested, kids get sparked because they meet someone. They get sparked because they have a project. They get sparked because the parents invest the time, or a teacher may be bringing in a guest speaker, or they may have a book that gives them that growth, that launch, to say, I want to do this. And the reason why I went into engineering, when I was in high school, I didn't have any self-esteem. I didn't think I would be an engineer because I had zero esteem. So by the time I got into college algebra, I loved math. I dreamt math. My brother, he said, what are you doing in calculus? And I said, I was already in college. And I went to Wright State University. And I said, math teacher? And he goes, and mind you, the way I got into college, I had my folder in the art department. And I never took a class in college with art until the very last quarter. So here I am, I'm in calculus. My brother's telling me, what are you doing? And so it does take someone else to spark, to push another. Inspiration, more or less. Or tough love. Or motivation from someone else. So I told the art department to transfer my folder to the engineering department because my brother said, no, you're going to be an engineer like me. And literally, that's what it took. I had zero esteem, and I'm like, okay, that's basically okay, because I did not know what direction to go. So sometimes people need another person to guide. So we as children, we grow up, but it's very important to have the right people around you. You got to, if you have at least something to do, at least have people that surround you something you want to aspire to be. Don't just go and follow the wrong crowd, because that's going to be the wrong direction. What is important is to surround yourself with positive people who you want to aspire to be, and then ask them for support. I joined many organizations. IAA, I'm an associate fellow, and Dr. Mike Griffin, he was NASA administrator. He provided my nomination, and I'm very grateful that he saw what I do for kids, getting involved because someone invested their time. So I'm now in college. I did not take any physics in high school because at that time you didn't have to. So now I needed a lot of mentorship. So one person helped me, mentored me, coached me. He said, you know what you are doing. And this person, I met this person first as a man, and he transitioned to a woman. So I have great appreciation with people who are trying to understand what they do and who they are, and accepted who I am, and I accepted this person. And I am so grateful, and this person's still in my life, and I'm very happy. And so people that you believe in also believe in you. So that's why I invest for the rest of my life from someone who wanted to invest their time. And I don't want to cry, invest their time. I need to invest my time for other kids to make sure that we get them excited about technology. And I'm excited about technology. And I did illustrations for children's books.
Now, Michelle, let me ask you one more question.
Okay.
Fans of the Pima Air and Space Museum and Pima Air and Space fans, they're all one entity. You know exactly what's going on with what we're trying to do. We're also trying to get the kids involved. I mean, I may be Mr. Nobody myself, but you know, I love aviation. I'm also part of the engineering community, the support groups, things like that. And I want to see these kids be happy. I want to see them go back being motivated and not to being out on the street and doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. Hopefully fans of the Pima Air and Space Museum are doing that. Same thing with the Pima Air and Space Fans website. That website spawned off of the group, of the Facebook group, and I believe that we're making a difference.
Yep. There's another organization, Youth on Their Own. There's Big Brothers, Big Sisters. There's the Boys and Girls Club with their clubhouse. There's a lot of networks of areas that we have here in Tucson, and their teachers, they have that knowledge. A child that may not have the strength to tell their parents or guardian, they may have the strength to talk to their teacher to say, I need help, and I want to be an astronaut, and I don't see myself going to college. What do I do? There are things out there, and it's to network and ask more questions. If a child runs into, let's say, a roadblock, to say, I don't have the funding. There is a huge program in Arizona that have funds, and it's a lot of work.
Yep, and there's also Right Flight out there too. Right Flight, Robin Stoddard, Colonel Robin Stoddard, I know him.
Yep.
And he's the one that started Right Flight. And Robin asked me to come on board to help him a little bit with his website. I helped him, and because I believed in what he was doing. So when I think Robert's still alive. I'm not too sure. I haven't heard from him in a while. But Robert's group, they have active duty military come in. They've got retired military. They do all kinds of stuff for the kids.
And the military is another avenue for kids. My son, he went through 1 year of college, and he's like, Mom, I'm going in. I'm like, okay. And he's still in the Navy, and he's enjoying it. And he is in cybersecurity, and that's a great job.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at this nice Electra together here. So I'm not too sure if Amelia flew this exact. This is a
Yeah, it's not the exact.
10A, but it's not. It's a serial number 1011.
I don't know the exact model. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10A, model 10A basically. So she was also a very influential woman in aviation history. So just like Michelle here is, she's a very inspirational. She was gracious enough to come and do this interview with us, and I appreciate it. Michelle, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for listening.
And like I said, we wanted to hear what she had to say to the kids, and how you got started and things like that. That was awesome. It was great. I thank you very much for joining us. Have a great one.